be ahead of Kirby.
Absolutely.
You know how them Alabama folks are.
You knew it was coming.
They ain't gonna let nobody nobody can make more money than our coach.
Yep.
And you know they ain't gonna talk about it now after all that stuff he was talking about, the NIL deals and stuff.
Yep. Well, Kirby said they had kind of dismissed all that stuff between them, and they back to being good friends and all that. Last interview I saw, I was surprised to see it, but he said that he said they just two competitive guys, and if somebody started talking that shit, and before you knew it, they both were talking shit.
I don't believe that for a minute.
I just tell you what he said. Now that don't mean that when it's time for them to play each other, they ain't gonna act like they still hate each other, because they done started a rivalry now, and it ain't about Alabama beating up on Texas A&M anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's gonna be interesting. I like to see that one.
Tom, what's up?
What's that? Late October when they go to?
I don't know. I don't know when it is. What's going on, Tom? Tom, I haven't been to the movies in a minute. I'm gonna come holler at you and give me maybe even later on this week. I might even do it tomorrow. I was supposed to go golfing tomorrow, but this hip ain't acting right. I ain't trying to get in that mess this hip up.
October 8th.
Okay, early October.
Is when they play each other?
Yes. Yeah. At Alabama.
Oh. Home cooking.
Yep.
Well, we know what game day is going to be that week.
You think?
Probably so. Well, it depends on who else is playing.
The SEC Nation show. Both of them are going to get that game.
They already hyped that up already. You know it's going to be in Tuscaloosa.
They might downplay it.
You know better than that.
They might downplay it.
You know what's crazy? What we really need to talk about is how the NFL set up the schedule for all these quarterbacks to play their old teams.
Isn't that bad? Dude, I mean, if y'all can't see that, I mean, come on. If y'all can't see that, man, it just so happens Deshaun Watson's going to come back when they play the Texans.
Yeah, and Baker Mayfield week one against the Browns.
Mayfield's going to play against his old ragged-ass team. Felicia Boymon, what's going on, Fee?
Carson Wentz is playing against both his old teams.
Yeah.
I think
Fee in the building. What up, Fee?
That's crazy. Russell Wilson going back to Seattle. Yeah, this is a setup.
I know.
So, and the fact that there's only that week that Alabama plays Texas A&M, there's only two ranked teams that play each other. Yeah. The other one's Ohio State at Michigan State. Pretty sure they're going to go to Alabama.
Whoa, I don't know, Travis. That's tough.
Now, this is Ohio State, Michigan. They might do that.
Michigan State.
Michigan State.
You know, it depends. I mean, now that you mentioned her, because the Big Ten has kind of changed, and you know how everybody trying to get a little piece. That'd be interesting.
Of course.
Can you give us a Tyler update when you get a chance? I know you told me the other day they moved him to the wide receiver room, so now he's in two rooms, which is a good thing. Because I believe he could be a pro receiver because he's one of the best receivers we had on our team. We just couldn't afford not to put him at running back. Guys, everybody see Felicia Boymon down there. That is Tyler Goodson, who is now with the Green Bay Packers, number 39. I hate that number. That's the number he is, number 39. Has there ever been another famous 39? Travis?
That's the point.
Travis, do that shit you doing and look it up. And tell me who the NFL number 39 is. Maybe Tyler can be the first 39 worth a damn in the NFL.
That's the point. Create your own number.
I know he does. If he work around that big old number on, that number's way too big for him to be wearing. He need to be a single digit.
Fast Willie Parker.
I'd rather have a 0 than have that damn 39.
I just realized, why are there no zeros?
Well, in college they were outlawed until a couple years ago. You couldn't wear the number 0.
Steven Jackson.
I remember him. He was okay. He was decent.
I forgot about Steven Jackson.
Larry Zunker.
Zunker was the man back in the day. I mean, if you like that kind of football, he was just a run over you kind of a guy. Larry Zunker for the Miami Dolphins.
Ray Crockett.
I remember Ray Crockett, but I didn't think he was no 39.
I didn't think so either.
There's 4 people that have worn the number 39 that are in the Hall of Fame. Larry Zonka, Carl Hubbard.
I remember him.
Clark Hinnicky, and Hugh McClaney.
Yeah. McElhaney.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, I remember that name. I remember the name Hugh McElhaney, but I don't remember seeing him play. But I remember people, my dad and them used to always say his name because he had a good football name. McElhaney.
You got to throw Willie Parker up in there.
Interesting. All right, Travis, start up. Let's get rolling.
You got it.
Felicia said that was her maiden name, McElhaney.
Wow.
Play the clock. Oh, you already know what it is, man. Ooh and J, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats, the this and that to keep this show on point. And when we done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey, y'all, let's get it poppin'.
Welcome to Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, coming to you live from the Imperial Palace up here on Black Mania. In case you missed the show, the pre-show, you missed some good stuff. Irv admitted that on that thing in the background back there, he got hung on the rim.
I'm gonna put the video on the intro.
You didn't admit that, Irv? Are you sure?
But I was tired after I made it, but it happened. It took all the energy out of me.
Coming to us all the way from the chocolate city of Washington, D.C., Big Irvin Payne. What's up, Irv?
Doing all right, man. No complaints.
I'm glad you can make it again.
Yes, sir.
We also had Felicia McElhaney admit that the only reason she married Mo Goodson was because she was tired of her last name. She didn't want to have to explain why a black woman is walking around with a last name of McElhaney. So that's why she married Mo Goodson. I got you, Pete. I ain't mad at you, baby. I ain't mad at you at all. So, Trav, what's going on, Trav?
No, not much. Not much.
Travis is here, as always, on the ones and twos, trying to find us a famous number 39. Tyler Goodson is with the Green Bay Packers right now wearing number 39. So we're trying to find somebody who was number 39 in the NFL who was worth a damn.
Probably
the only one I really heard of was Steven Jackson and Larry Zonker.
Probably the best 39 playing right now, other than Tyler Goodson, of course, is Minka Fitzpatrick.
Okay, moving right along. Because Mick ain't been in the league but maybe a year or two. So anyway, we're gonna bypass all that, and we're gonna dive in today to the topics because we got some things going on that we need to address. Starting with the Cleveland Browns as usual. Of course, the news came down with Deshaun Watson the other day, and he's not playing. And now, supposedly, Jacoby Brissett is going to be the head guy, going to be the starting quarterback. and they have yet to play him in preseason. Now, I'm all about saving your quarterbacks and this and that, but Josh Allen played the other night. I mean, Russell Wilson played. I mean, what are they waiting on, Travis? What's going on with the Cleveland Browns and their quarterback?
I honestly don't have a clue. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I know they do want to get Watson some reps, so he's not completely rusty by the time he gets back. But how good is that going to be when he's gone for 10 weeks? I think if you're the Browns, you got to kind of worry about the here and the now and who you have with Brissett. So I don't know how much faith it shows in Brissett that they really like him as the quarterback, but that's kind of who they're stuck with unless they make a trade. And Garoppolo's still sitting out there, so I have heard that rumor. But until that happens, they need to get ready for the season.
Irv.
And then the crazy thing is you don't want to bring in a Jimmy Garoppolo with no exhibition games, no knowledge of the playbook, because it's definitely not the same playbook that Kyle Shanahan has.
Absolutely.
But the crazy thing is nowadays you see teams have 3 different philosophies. Let's see what we got in the draft pick. I don't need to see our quarterback, or I do need to see our quarterback. And when it comes to the Browns, it was just like Travis said, I think it was all more focused on just getting Watson out there instead of just saying, let's show everybody our hand with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like Jacoby Brissett hadn't played before. I mean, people know. I mean, when you say let's not show our hand, everybody knows who he is. I mean, he's kind of a journeyman quarterback. He played on a couple different teams, things of that nature. And so everybody knows kind of what they're going to get. But I would think that if I'm the Browns, I need to get him out there and, give him a little test, kind of check him out and see how he's going to play, see if he's going to jive with the receivers. I know those are things you can see in practice, but obviously when you get in a game, it's a whole different thing. I had some kids the other day. We played in the Corky Kell Classic high school football playing in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. And I had some of the kids admit that, Coach, I was kind of weirded out at the beginning of the game because I thought I was ready for that stage, but that was kind of big for me. And I was happy to hear them admit that. But like I said, that's that's what I'm saying. That's a big stage you're on. And with all of the hoopla that's been going on with the Browns just makes it that much bigger.
Yep.
So I would think that you try to get him out there and get him some against another team. Because you know as well as I do, when you're playing against your team, you say, well, Irv, just run the fade on Travis. Because Travis can't cover the fade. Or just drive on Travis because, you take Travis to the hole, he's going to foul you every time. Because you're familiar with those people. You're going up now against people you don't know anything about. And when you do that, it's a whole different dynamic. And so that's why I would think they would try to get him out there and do a thing. So I was a little perplexed with why he hadn't played yet. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that was interesting to me.
Maybe they're just not worried about their opening part of their season. Their first game is at Carolina. Then they play home against the Jets, home against Pittsburgh, and at the Atlanta Falcons. So, not the super toughest competition those four games, though. So
not the Jets. The Jets are definitely not. But Pittsburgh, I mean, Pittsburgh is – I don't care what's going on. Pittsburgh going to be a game. I mean, aren't they in the same division with Pittsburgh?
They
Yes,
are.
sir.
I mean, you talking about anytime you play a division game, I mean, it's going to be a tough game.
Yep.
So
It's week to week. So
if they're trying to overlook Pittsburgh, put that on a Twinkie and send it to Pittsburgh and let Pittsburgh put that up on their bulletin board that these jokers trying to overlook us. And then they think the first 4 games going to be a cakewalk. I mean, you know what'll happen then. Whoever's behind this strategy, well, it ain't like they made a whole bunch of brilliant moves anyway, as far as the Cleveland Browns are concerned. So But this is, to me, it's a bad strategy. And if Jacoby Brissett doesn't get out there and play his ass off on game one, then it's really going to be a bad strategy. So,
and then the crazy thing is, a lot of these teams have inter-squad practices, and I don't know if that's what's been going on with Cleveland, and they've been using a lot of their starters in those inter-squads and not putting them out there for the preseason games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen that too. I've seen several of those inter-squad practices and whatnot. I don't know why they even do them, because they normally just break out in fights and all this stuff. And I've already heard about several epic fights that have been out there between two teams and this and that and the other. So that's neither here nor there. But I just thought it was an interesting thing that the team who was got all this drama going on and hadn't even put the damn quarterback out there makes you wonder if he's even going to be the damn quarterback when it's time.
I do find, it's a different thing, but I think it's interesting just when teams in general just, don't play their starters in the preseason.
Well, it depends.
I can tell you,
Here's my thing, Travis. Tom Brady don't even hardly go to training camp.
He just showed up to yesterday, so yeah.
Yeah, so to put him out there to play in a preseason game, that would be stupid. I mean, when you got these 18-year veterans, because they are dinosaurs, because these kids coming out today, I mean, a lot of them already done played 2 years and retired, or 5 years and retired. So when you got somebody that's been in the league for 18 years and he says, I'm not playing in no preseason games, you're like, yeah, I get you.
Mm-hmm.
I get you on that. And I can understand that.
I get that, yeah.
So
yeah, I know the Bengals, not one offensive player that's played in the Bengals both preseason games are a starter right now. Everyone they played is a backup right now.
I hear you. Well, I mean, again, guys, it's but when you are a team like the Bengals and you say we can't afford to lose anybody, I mean, you're very skeptical about playing those guys in games that don't matter.
Yep. Because
it's like, dude, we're that team, just like the Wilson kid or whatever that got hurt. Was it New York? When New York lost their quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and when you're that kind of team, you're like, dude, we just that team that we lose our damn quarterback in a damn game that doesn't even matter, preseason game. And so I can understand being some teams being apprehensive about playing their starters. Our favorite team, Miss Carey's favorite team, the Falcons, were in action the other night, and they lost to the New York Jets. Boy, I mean, won't he do it, Irv? Irv ain't got good. When I try to tell y'all that God loves me.
Come on, it's preseason.
It don't matter. Look, I was almost sick to my stomach because I was going to send y'all a text message saying the over-under for the game is 20, and I'm going to take the under. Because with them two teams playing, ain't no way in hell they're going to score those damn 20 points. I'm just telling you. But I said, no, I'm going to hold off doing it. And sure enough, when the game first started off, I think the Falcons were winning like 16-0 at halftime. And I turned it off because I was like, damn. The Atlanta Falcons going to mess around with this game. I picked up that paper the next day. I was afraid I was going to catch hell on this show because the Falcons won the damn game. And everybody going to be like, oh, yeah, baby, this is our year. And lo and behold, I said, ain't he good? What are you doing, Irv?
Terrible.
Man, I cannot wait for this year for the Falcons. Now, I will say this. I saw Matty Ice playing the other day. Boy, he was struggling. I saw him. I don't know about y'all, but from what I saw, it was not a good outing for Matty Ice. You see him, Travis?
No, I have not caught the Colts yet.
Herb, did you see him?
I did, and I've been saying it the whole time.
He struggled, boy.
They downgraded from Wentz, man.
I'm just telling you, he struggled bad when I saw him the other day. So I cannot.
5-12.
Tom is hurting. You know, Tom's a Falcon fan, so he's hurting. He said, "I'm glad y'all think that's funny."
Oh yeah.
Listen, y'all know me. I can't wait. Look, number one Falcon hater right here, baby. I need to get me a necklace. Y'all need to make me a necklace. It's number one Falcon hater. Coming down just like that. Because you know me, I can't stand it. So anyway, moving right along, I just had to get my little Falcon joke in there. Because, boy, them jokes are something else. But they never cease to amaze me. Carolina Panthers named Baker Mayfield starting quarterback for week 1 versus the Cleveland Browns. I mean, it's about 10 storylines in there. But first of all, let's talk about Baker Mayfield being named starter. Herb, you surprised?
0.
Why?
They're playing Cleveland week 1. They need a storyline in the NFL.
You think that had a bunch to do with it?
100%.
Travis, you surprised?
Not at all.
Why?
Not at all. I think Baker is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold anyway. And then the fact that they play Cleveland. But I think Baker's just better than Sam Darnold anyway. But I'm not surprised at all.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not surprised. I've never been a Sam Darnold fan. Jason and I used to have epic arguments about this. And Travis, you remember, I'm like, Jason, that boy is trash. And Jason be like, what? He this and he that, and he bark at me about all his stuff and shoot me out all these useless stats and everything. And I'm like, I don't give a damn. All I'm going by is watching him. And I'm telling you right now, that boy is terrible. Oh, he's doing all this and he broke all these records at USC, and he's the number 1 quarterback, and blah blah. And he's broken all the Big 12 records. And I said, Jason, I'm just going by this right here, just what I see right here, and I don't like what I see. And he's terrible in my opinion. I've never liked him, never. So to see Baker beat him out, I see that. I mean that. Okay, I get it. I'm not really all that sold on the whole Cleveland Browns thing about him playing the Cleveland Browns and that. I would not, don't get me wrong, the NFL is scamming us. I get that. But I'm just saying that I'm not necessarily sold on that being a factor for why he beat him out. I mean, because Baker has some gifts. He has some talents as far as a quarterback. He's a little agile. He can move around a little bit. He runs a lot better than Sam Darnold and most quarterbacks out there and whatnot. And then he's a gunslinger. You know, I mean, to me, it's not that part of Baker Mayfield that I worry about as a coach. I worry about his character. You know, this is the same guy who, you know, gave the double birds to some team or whatever. They were booing him and stuff in college. I mean, you know, a lot of players, especially quarterbacks, that would have taken them off the draft boards of a whole lot of people because of that. Instead, this joke gets to be number 1, and everybody knows he got character issues. What's one of the things they talk about in Cleveland, where it was about problems that he had, was with his character, was with the way that he carried himself and conducted himself, and you know, wasn't like a leader and this and that, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what worries me more. Right. And that's why I thought that Darnold might even beat him out, was because of that. Because you hear a lot of people, ex-teammates say that I didn't trust him, or, you know, Odell Beckham daddy talked about him like a dog. I mean, you know, and that's why I thought that, you know, it might not be so easy, despite his athletic ability, to win the job in Carolina. So what do you think, Travis?
No, I get that, but I just think Baker's just a better football player than Sam Darnold. I think he's shown it. I don't think he's been great for the Browns, but, you know, look, he led them to the playoffs. That's more than any other quarterback can say for the Browns the last 20 years. So I know they got some talent on that team. and Cleveland still does. But I think he's a talented player. I don't think he's terrible, but I think he's better than Sam Darnold. And you got to remember that Carolina brought him in. They traded for him to, be the starter. And when you give up some picks and you give up some money, and it could be dead even, they're probably going to go with the guy that's, you gave some assets to.
What do you think?
Look, I think all three of us can walk out of bed and be better than both of them quarterbacks, to be honest with you. But honestly, and I've been saying it, and I still don't understand how he is not playing. I think PJ Walker is the better quarterback on that roster right now.
Oh, wow.
I've been saying it since both of them got drafted 1 and 3. I don't like neither one of them.
Yeah.
Never been a fan.
Here's my thing. Let me ask you this. Are either one of them better than Jimmy G? Why don't they trade for Jimmy G?
I don't know why anybody wouldn't trade for Jimmy G right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is that it's somewhat perplexing to me that, you supposedly still have Jimmy G out there who some people are saying might even still be able to play for the 49ers. Damn sure ain't me saying that, but it's some people who are saying that. I mean, at the end of the day, if he's that good, why in the world wouldn't he be good enough to go play in Cleveland or go play in Carolina or go play in probably 10 other franchises we know have struggling quarterbacks right now?
Right. The only thing I can think of is teams think that the 49ers are just going to drop Jimmy G, after training camp. And so why trade for him and give up something when you can probably just pick him up on the waiver wire? But you're risking the fact that the 49ers are going to drop Jimmy Garoppolo, in a week or two.
They're not going to just give Jimmy G put him on the waiver wire. I'm going to tell you that right now. His ass to be the backup quarterback on that team before they put him on the waiver wire. Because they know good well he's an asset. And they ain't going to just put him out there and let somebody just go pick him up for nothing.
That's a lot of money you're paying for a backup quarterback, though, that you could free up by dropping him.
I hear you. Free up for what? What you going to free it up for? If you're going to free it up, you need to be freeing it up for something. I mean, that's my whole point. If not,
another player.
If not, we're going to talk about it here in a few minutes when we talk about the NBA. They'll be like, hey, just take your money and shut up. I mean, that's bottom line.
What if the crazy thing is San Francisco never even planned on trading them in the first place? What if they keeping them for insurance purposes? The Trey Lance is just not going to pan out to what they think it is. Because it makes no sense to keep him.
Tom said, is it that, or does he just have a big price tag? Because he's obviously qualified. And I agree, Tom. I mean, my thing is that his price tag ain't that big. His price tag ain't that high. I mean, there's some teams out there that could afford to get Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's one or two that's going to make a bid for him soon, I promise you. I mean, it might be Indianapolis.
It should have been from the get-go.
The way that I saw Matty Ice playing the other day, I mean, I don't know if it's too cold up there in Indianapolis or whatever. That joke was terrible.
Yeah, they play in a dome.
They play in the dome.
I know, exactly.
And then the rest of the teams, they play in the South.
I know. So Atlanta plays in the dome too. I mean, that was the point I was making. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with Matty. I'm trying to give him some kind of excuse. I'm sure he has one, but he looked terrible. And again, I can't stomach watching too much of that. So if I turned the channel, it was on. I watched it for about maybe 5 minutes at the most. And in 5 minutes, I saw him get sacked one time and throw an incomplete pass. And that's all I need. I said, I can't watch this. I turned the channel. So
yeah. It's going to be an interesting year for football.
It is. It's going to be listen to me. Because there's been every year is going to be interesting from now on because of the way we got free agency now. Because every team is a brand new team. Yep. I mean, look, you say, oh, well, Kansas City has been totally restructured.
I don't think they're going to be as good this year as what they have been.
Maybe not. I mean, the Honey Badger's gone, and I mean, everybody's gone. You know what? I heard somebody say the other day, Guess who a lot of people are saying is probably going to be in the Super Bowl this year?
Buffalo.
The New Orleans Saints.
Nah.
I mean, it is a strong contingency of people out there saying the New Orleans Saints have all the pieces. Everybody like, what about Jameis Winston? And they still believing it's going to be the New Orleans Saints. Look, when they said that, I was like, what are these folks drinking?
I don't even think they make the playoffs this year.
I hear you, but it's a bunch of people that say that I guess are a lot smarter than we are, Travis, who say that the New Orleans Saints could be in the Super Bowl this year, representing the NFC.
The good thing is the NFC South is bad outside of Tampa Bay.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. But I'm telling you, everybody said that they are a sleeper because they said they're going to have one of the best defenses in the league this year.
The defense is nasty. Easy.
By far.
Defense is the best thing smoking they got.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they said that's going to be the big thing with them. They've got just a super, super good defense this year, which I'm glad to hear because, of course, Bradley Roby is there. So good for them. But to hear that, I was like, dude, I'm not buying in on that. But that's what I heard. So anyway, go ahead, Irv. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
In other news, Chicago Bears linebacker Roquan Smith ends his hold in to play out his final year of his rookie deal. I mean, if that's really news. I told y'all when I first heard about this, I'm like, why? How is he demanding anything? I mean, I didn't feel like he was a big enough household name, a marquee player or whatever, to be demanding anything. Now, Irv, you pointed out, I think he's been a 2-time All-Pro or something like that or another, whatever. He's been in the league for 2 or 3 years. 2 of the 3 years he's been an All-Pro. Dude, I think this is basically solidifies the point I was trying to make in that I don't think you can just be demanding anything when you're in his position. I mean, this is kind of a no-news thing to me. I just want to bring it back up and get y'all's opinion on it because, like I said, when I heard it, I was like, who the hell is Roquan Smith? And I mean, it still feel that way. Irv, what you take it?
That just means you're going to pay attention to him a little bit more this year. That's all that means.
Oh, yeah. Well, everybody is. I mean, he done made the news now. Everybody's going to pay more attention to him. He might be a household name now.
Yeah. but it's crazy because it's like he's one of those type of players you can't get rid of. But Chicago Bears just got so bad to the point where do you really want to keep him and have him lose a year because we suck? I mean, at this point, they have no choice. It's over with now. Like, he's going to play it out. But if everybody thinks he's going to resign that shit, you can forget it.
Dude, I would love to be on the rules committee. And I say, if a player demands a trade and that trade doesn't happen, we get to restructure his contract. We get to take some money back. I mean, for having put us through all that and put us through all that, we had to get our attorneys involved and he need to pay all them fees and everything. I mean, something needs to happen when these guys do. Travis, what do you think?
No, I'm not surprised. This happens every year. You get 2 or 3 players that, want to get paid and maybe they deserve it, maybe they don't. That's up, that's not for us to decide. But 99 out of 100 times they come back around this time. The Bengals actually have a guy doing the same thing, Jesse Bates, safety. He just reported to camp yesterday. Even though, a month ago he said, I'm not going to play until I get a new contract. He just showed up yesterday and he's going to be ready to go for week 1. So I was never worried about, him or any of these other players. But I do think you do realize that more than likely this is going to be the last time you see them on that team. They're not going to play for that team next year.
That ain't a problem.
So it is what it is.
That ain't a problem. But my whole thing is that, you know, he probably called his agent. His agent said, "Dude, ain't nobody calling. Ain't nobody, ain't nobody asking about you."
They can't be calling because they're still technically under contract.
I know, but we all know that they still call. I mean, they were talking about that the other day. You know, Dana White. Did you see that story about Dana White?
Yeah.
Where he said he had actually tried to broker a deal to get Tom Brady to go play in Las Vegas or whatever the hell. I mean, come on, guy. We know. I mean, we know that. Yeah, I might not be able to call as owner of the New York Jets, but I can get Dana White to go down there. My good friend Dana White from the UFC, he can go down there and ask for me on my behalf. You know? So they still do it. If they wanted to, they'd get a damn carrier pigeon to take a note over there and say, "Hey man, what would it take for us to get Roquan Smith, or for us to get this other cat you're talking about?" So I mean, Matt Kalut says he's owed $9.7 million this season. So that's what I'm saying. If I'm the owner, I'm like, okay, he demanded a trade. Nobody wants his ass. We're gonna let him play out this last year with us, but I want that 0.7 back. So just let me give him $9 million this year. Just round it off, give him my 0.7 back, so I can go buy me a new pair of tennis shoes. You know what I'm saying, Irv?
Yeah.
Justin Fields.
You know, I mean, 0.7 on that 9.7 million. I mean, dude, if that ain't pocket change, I mean, if I had that much money and I didn't walk around with at least $700,000 in my wallet, I'd be like, y'all can whip my ass if I don't at least have $700,000 in my wallet. You know? I mean, because you know, Travis, when you get up that they make $1,000 bills for those people.
Oh.
Now, you ain't never seen a $1,000 bill because you don't need it. You know, everything you deal with is in hundreds.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the most. But them jokes there, they make $1,000 bills for them. I'm telling you that right now.
Okay.
So I would walk around with at least that much in my pocket. At least that much. And last but not least, Josh Allen threw for a touchdown in the Bills' 42-15 preseason rout over the Broncos. I mean, what's that little saying that they're saying in Denver now? Let's ride. Is that what Russell Wilson came there talking about let's ride, and now everybody around there talking about let's ride? I mean, what they riding to her?
They ride to the season because this ain't it.
Everybody been doing all that talk though about how good they are. I mean, is this going to be a total, aberration of what's going to happen, and they're really going to be a good football team? I mean, is there, or do you think this is just an advertisement for what's going to be their football team this year?
I think teams need to just stop showing off in the preseason if they don't have to. Like, you get a good couple drives in and cool, but Allen was out there for 4 or 5 drives the other day.
I know.
He played like a whole half.
Yeah, he played
he's the kind of guy I could see though who's like, dude, I need to get greased up. You know what I mean? He's a gritty player, and he's got kind of that blue collar mentality. And so I can see him saying, dude, let me get a half in. I need to get a half in.
It's all good and dandy till he tears his ACL because he's running for a first down, and then their season goes down the toilet.
I agree totally. But again, you have people like Aaron Rodgers who does his own thing. Tom Brady does his own thing. I mean, it's just about every quarterback out there does their own thing. Ben Roethlisberger, when his fat ass was playing, he did his own thing. You couldn't make him lose no weight. He wanted to be Big Ben. I mean, I don't know how you can really stop him because, that's the reason why Deshaun Jackson still has a job today, because he knows that he has a skill set that less than 32 people in the country have, because half of the jokers in the NFL don't have it, and then but they have to stay and play even though they don't have it. So when you have that kind of skill set and you know that, dude, I can do my own thing. Patrick Mahomes, I saw him out there the other day running, throwing backwards off of 1 foot. I mean, do you know how that's an ACL tear waiting to happen? When you come down there and land on that damn one leg like that. We tell our kids in high school football, don't even go do that high five thing. Or every time you jump up and do that high five, you're in jeopardy of landing wrong on that turf and tearing the ACL.
Or even just like a badly sprained ankle could put you out for a month, right?
I agree. You know, they say that a high ankle sprain is worse than a damn broken leg.
Exactly.
It takes longer to heal than a damn broken leg does.
You'll be dealing with that all season.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is that you can't tell these cats what to do. I mean, you can't. I mean, because if I'm the guy and I'm telling you, listen, the bottom line is that I know my body. And I know if you want me to be ready on game day number 1, when we're playing our hated rival at home in our place, I need more than a damn quarter. I need to do at least a half to get my body ready. I need that. I mean, I'll see very few coaches being like, don't give a damn what you think, you getting a quarter.
Well,
pretty much. I mean, to me, that's the bottom line. Like, if you're in a groove and you look solid, you do not need to play all that. Like you said, you need to be greased up. Like that was enough to grease about 4 or 5 chickens for what he did. That's too much grease.
Yeah.
All right, Irv, you playing basketball. Let's switch over to basketball.
Okay.
And you playing basketball, and y'all getting ready for your season opener. And, you know, you play a few scrimmage games and all that kind of stuff. You gonna let your coach tell you how much you need to play to get ready for the opener at your gym?
Listen, if I come out the first quarter, play about 4 or 5 minutes, and my shot looks pretty good, I don't need to see nothing else.
I know, but what if it doesn't?
Well, hey, then I just have to get back into the group. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look good, why do you need to continue to play? Like, it makes sense if you're just not in a groove and you just want to find something that works. But if everything is working,
I get the comparison, Coach, but there is a difference between football and basketball, and we all know this too, right? Like football, you're getting hit, right? This isn't tag, red shirt. You got a red shirt on the quarterback, and he can't take a hit. You know, it takes one hit, and he falls and breaks his collarbone.
I understand totally, but my whole thing is I'm just kind of teasing her because we know he's a basketball guy. But I'm going to tell you this. I used to live in Birmingham, Alabama. Charles Barkley used to come to the gym that I trained at and played basketball at and all that damn near every day during the off season. And Charles Barkley would wait until only me and about 3 other guys were there and come down there and maybe play 2-on-2, 3-on-3 at the most basketball with people that he trusted. And he's like, dude, I'm not getting out there because they used to always call him. He'd be up on the track. There was a track that went around the building up top, looking down on the basketball court. And he'd be up there walking around the track and jogging and that kind of stuff. And they'd be waving, hey, Chuck, come on down, all that other stuff. He just waved everybody off. I asked one, I said, how come you don't come down here and play when all the good cats are in there playing? So he said, dude, one of them cats going to be down there trying to make their name off of me so they can say they played against Charles Barkley and did X, Y, Z. And they mess around and take my legs out from underneath me and make me break my wrist or my elbow or whatever case. And now I can't feed my family because of some damn idiot down there. He's like, no. He said, you don't see me ever playing pickup basketball, ever. He said, now, when it's me and you and a couple guys and whatnot, boo, and I know you and you know these cats, you tell me these cats are straight and they ain't going to be doing that kind of stuff, then I'm in. I don't mind coming out here shooting a little ball with y'all. But he said, I'm not going to be out here coming to the hoop and trying to dunk on people and all that. I'm work on my jump shot while I'm out here with y'all. And I mean, that's what he did. And that's what I'm saying is that, but when you're that kind of athlete, you know what you need to do to get your body right to be on time.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
And perfect example, Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah. Ooh, that was nasty.
Yes.
Dude, that was nasty. I mean, a lot of people say it's cheap.
Not dirty.
Huh?
Not dirty.
A lot of people saying it was dirty.
It was
A lot of
not.
people saying 30.
I thought you couldn't cut below the knees now.
Yeah, you can. In the box, you can. When you're in the box, in between the tackles, in between the two tackles, you're able to cut.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you this. What I don't like about it, Travis, is the guy has a hesitation before he does it. If he was just coming across that full speed and just kind of, lunged out or whatever, that's one thing. But it's almost like he stopped and then went again forward and kind of threw an elbow with it. It just looked real weird. And it's one thing if you just going hard, you just meet him. But it was, if you look at it again, you're going to see what I mean about him kind of being hesitant. Almost like he got there was like, ooh, I don't want to do this because this is his legs. It's like, man, the hell with that. I'm going to do it anyway. And it was just, it didn't look good at all. And when you saw the way his legs bent and everything, dude, it looked bad. Really, really bad.
And then it was coming from a guy who might not even make the roster.
This is true. Guys, we got 14 minutes left. I'm trying to get through these two big topics here. Number one, KD was rumored when I woke up this morning to be flirting with going and joining John Morant in Memphis. I'm going to stop it right there. Herb, tell me, since you're the basketball guy, tell me what kind of mixture that would have made had it been John Morant and KD. And they got some other pieces. I mean, the Grizzlies aren't a bad team right now. I mean, they to me should be on everybody's calendar as being one of the deadliest matchups out there.
Now, the issue was the people that I saw in a trade for him would have destroyed the team completely. You can't give up Jaren Jackson Jr. You can't give up Desmond Bane. You can't give up those type of guys to bring in a guy who of a superstar caliber like Kevin Durant, which is fine.
Gotcha.
But you see his methods the last few teams that he played on. Are you really going to tear your team up for that type of superstar? I had that issue with the Lakers giving up all their players to get Anthony Davis, and now you got a guy who can't even stay on the court for 40 games. But honestly, you do give up players to get a superstar caliber player like that. But when it comes to players, there's certain things that you just can't destroy and think you're going to have the same positive progress on your squad. Look at the Brooklyn Nets.
Perfect example.
Who's that? Who's the perfect example, Travis?
Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Travis, what do you think then, Travis? Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I never really thought it was going to happen. I always thought this was kind of just like out of the blue, out of nowhere. It's like, oh, the Grizzlies are talking. I never thought it was going to happen, and I thought it would have made the Grizzlies worse, actually. They would have had to have given up basically everybody but John Morant, probably, and they would have been a 4 or 5 seed in the Western Conference with John Morant and Kevin Durant and a bunch of players. And right now they're already a 2 and a 3 seed with John Morant and who they have now. I thought it would have made them worse.
And I don't think they would have been a 4 or 5 seed. They might have been lower than that. The West is crazy.
Yeah, could be.
But just to have a slight example, look at how Cleveland is getting a little bit better from the players that Brooklyn traded to get their setup. And I have different thought processes on some of these trades that the NBA does. Like, it makes no sense to me for you to destroy your team in the future just because you want one guy now. You can literally set your team up like the Golden State Warriors and consistently win. It might take you 4 or 5 years to do it, but you're consistently going to win just for one ring.
Yeah.
But isn't that what professional sports is all about, Irv? It's about we want to win now. That's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to win now.
I think that's what professional sports is now. It wasn't like that before. Before it was like, I got a guy, I'm gonna figure out what his strength is, and we're gonna use that to win.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about part 2 of this, because later on today, I saw that KD and the Nets had mended up their differences, and he was there to stay, and so was the head coach. and the GM that he said had to go if he was going to stay there. And now everybody's one big happy family. So how does that happen, Herb?
They ain't happy. Ain't no sunshine in that building.
So they got a nice PR department.
Nah, it ain't nice.
Put out that statement.
We still know all the information, and the season is 2 months away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just I'm always how does that conversation go with KD and Kyrie?
How does the locker room go?
I agree
82
with
games.
that too. But I'm talking about their conversation in the locker room. Like, wasn't that the one you were talking about a couple months ago who you never want to play with again? And, me and you supposed to be best friends. And then you talked about me like a dog, said you wanted to leave. And now here you are back. And everything's supposed to be happy-go-lucky.
Yep.
How do you get past that, Herb?
Well, Coach, I'll tell you this. There's one thing I learned in business class. NBA is a business. You never go into business with your friends.
I hear you.
Now, high school and college is different. You can play basketball with your friends, but when it comes to your livelihood and who can do what and this and that and your future career, you never do it with your friends.
Yeah. Interesting. Travis, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is a ticking time bomb waiting to happen, and I think it'll pop. It'll blow up around February, which will be about the All-Star game.
Now, I'm going to say this, and I know everybody's going to freak out when I say this. All you guys on here who know how I feel about Kyrie, and Kyrie's a great player. I don't care what y'all say. Kyrie is a showman. Kyrie is Uncle Drew. And I see Kyrie out there playing NBA games, doing some Uncle Drew stuff. Like, that is the same thing he did in Uncle Drew. I see a bunch of moves that he does that is Uncle Drew. And I'm like, I be calling Jason like, Kyrie out there doing that Uncle Drew thing again. And because he out there just clowning people sometimes. Just straight clowning people. Dribbling the ball, there's like 8 people on the court trying to stop him. And he won't pass it. He just dribbling the ball between his legs and around his back and just doing the hidden ball, Harlem Globetrotter trick. Curly Neal, thank you, Herb. All that against all these people, just making people look stupid. But I wouldn't want that joke on my team for nothing. Because he is too unpredictable. I think he's too temperamental. And I think that he's going to be that guy who you never would be able to trust. Because you'd be like, damn, here we on a damn, 17, 18 game winning streak. And now Kyrie decides he's going to go take 2 weeks off to go help the Dolphins in Asia. Dude, what the hell? What is I'm just telling you. You would never, ever, ever be able to be comfortable. Because you know good and well at any time, that joke could leave and be gone, and it's like, I just need some time off. The whole Last Dance, Dennis Rodman, I need a vacation. Yeah. What the hell you talking about a vacation? We're in the middle of the damn season. The playoffs get ready to start talking about you need a vacation. It would be that kind of thing where you just like, dude, you about to mess up the whole juju we got going around here. And anyway, I would never have him as a teammate. What do you think, Herb?
Never. First of all, he wants a contract to not play over 60 games.
Dude, I'm flabbergasted at what he gets away with. Absolutely flabbergasted at what he gets away with. I couldn't be the owner. I'm saying that right now. Y'all was seeing the newspaper to me. I went in the locker room and tried to beat Kyrie's ass over my money. I would go in there dude, to pay him all that money, and this joke just like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna play tonight. I don't really feel it. Are you feeling that $97 million? Why you telling me you ain't feeling it? Dude, I'm serious. I don't know how he gets away with it. I really don't. Last but not least, and we got 5 minutes to discuss it. If Serena Williams on the Mount Rushmore of professional athlete. I mean, she said she's going to call it quits. And I'm glad it's time for it to. I don't want to see her going out there and getting beat by, people that's not even ranked and that kind of stuff. You just got to know when it's your time to sit down. And she's had a great career and all that. Travis, I'll ask you first. Is she on the Mount Rushmore of professional athletes?
Are we talking women professional athletes or professional athletes, male and female?
Period.
No.
Period.
I'm not. I'm going to say no.
Is she on the female?
Yes.
Irv.
I might have to disagree on that one. I sat down and I thought about this when she said she was going to give it up.
Yeah.
You have to realize there was legit a 14-year span where she was just so dominant that her sister didn't want to play her.
Absolutely.
I can't think of another player outside of maybe LeBron that literally another person gets on the same field to play with you and you're scared for your life when they get the ball in their hands or in her situation, getting ready to swing the racket. I might have to disagree with you on that one. That's tough. That's tough. I might have to think about it a little more, but because it's hard to pick 4 people.
Right.
I might have to throw on there.
I'm gonna say this. And I've thought long and hard about this. Because when you talk about for all sports,
yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of sports you might not be thinking about.
Jesse Owens,
Edwin Moses. I mean,
there's Michael Phelps.
Bunch of track guys. Swimming. I mean, obviously baseball from, Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds and whatever. I mean, whoever the greatest is out there right now. I mean, hockey. You got Wayne Gretzky and all those guys and this and that.
Yeah.
Basketball. I mean,
Ali.
Boxing. I mean, it's a bunch. It's a bunch. Because when I heard this question the other day being asked, I'm like, y'all aren't really giving this thing justice. And I'm like, I think that you would have to put so much thought into it. But I will say this. She would definitely be one of my thoughts about it. It's not like I would just totally say, there can't be any women on there. I got damn 3 football players on there. But you understand what I'm saying? I mean, or I got Tiger and 3 football players. Or I got Tiger, a football player, a basketball player, and an Olympian, an Olympic track and field or whatever. Right. Carl Lewis or Ben Johnson or whatever. I mean, there's been so many. But I can honestly say to you that I could see her, like Irv just said, on that Mount Rushmore with 3 other guys. I could definitely see that. But it's like I said, she would definitely be in my quote-unquote top 10 because, like he just said, of her dominance.
Right.
And when you think about that, you also got to think about Martina Navratilova because she had the same kind of dominance over women's tennis for a long time. So much so that people can accusing her of being a transvestite, being a man. I see that little baby back there in the background. But I'm saying that's what that's where I would say there's got to be some kind of recognition for Serena Williams. What do you think, Travis?
No, I agree. Like I said, she would be close. She's in the debate, but I don't think she would be in the mount. I don't at the end of the day, I don't think I would have her in the Final Four. Like I said, Jesse Owens, I think, would be up there. Michael Phelps, think about how many gold medals that dude has. That's 2 right off the bat. Probably MJ, and then look, nobody's got as many Super Bowls as Tom Brady, right? And I'm not saying I would pick Tom Brady, but I think he'd be in the discussion too. So I don't think he would
How
be
many
in my
Super
top
Bowls?
4.
How many Super Bowls does Tom Brady have?
7,
What
right?
are you? 7?
7, right?
It could be 7. I'm just asking
I
how
think
many
it's
rings?
7.
How many rings did Bill Russell have?
There you go, Bill Russell. There you go. There's another one. You're right.
So, I mean, I'm gonna put Bill Russell up there before I put Tom Brady up there.
I was just
I'll tell you that
throwing
right
out
now.
names. I wasn't saying. I even said I would. Don't know if I would put him, but I was just throwing out names.
Yeah. Irv, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, once you sit down and make a list of players that can go on the list, you're going to have about 20.
Yeah.
So not having her in the conversation would be just as good as picking her as the top 4. It's tough, man.
I know this could be this conversation is going on for a long time, but let me ask you guys this, and then we'll call it a night because it's 9:01. Let me ask you this: would you consider part of that Mount Rushmore being their life off the court as well? Does that come into play when you're talking about Mount Rushmore? Because if you look at the real Mount Rushmore, there's a lot of those guys that are up there because of the people who they were. Not necessarily that they had such great administrations or whatever, but a lot of it has to do too with they were very well liked or they did something very significant or whatever, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So does that come into play, or is it just about how good an athlete they were?
For me, I think it would just be athlete, and I think the reason that would be really difficult is to encompass the other stuff is because you're looking at different generations, right? And the news and information that we have now is different than 20, 30, 50, 60 years ago.
Gotcha.
Right.
That's very, very well stated. What do you think, Herb?
Yeah, 100%. Word for word.
Okay. I mean, because that's a part of it, because I think that I know when I heard people talking about it the other day, they were talking about and alluding to some things that she's done kind of off the court and saying that, she's helped and she's been a role model and et cetera for young women and helped young women in tennis and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they were saying that that's also something that they had to come in and be a factor in that if you're going to talk about Serena's career and everything else. So, same thing, we talk about LeBron and his career. Of course, LeBron does a lot of philanthropic things and he has a school and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and la, 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 la. Muhammad Ali, civil rights, Bill Russell, civil rights, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So does all that come in and factor in when you say, well, that would give Bill Russell the nod over Tom Brady, or that would give, Muhammad Ali the nod over, somebody else who wasn't like Tiger Woods. Tiger, I don't know anything that Tiger's done outside of golf. You know what I mean? That's been newsworthy or whatever, like those guys did. Does that make sense?
Crashing the car.
In there. So anyway. So anyway, with that being said, folks, it's time for us to get out of here. Travis, Tom say your baby's cute. My granddaughter Nava is 6 days old. Somewhere down the line, we should have a play date. There you go.
There we go.
There you go, right there.
We got a play date, Ashley.
I tell you what, somewhere down there, don't forget my grandbaby, Tom. I got a grandbaby too. And my grandbaby, I already got her swinging a tennis racket. So since we talking about Serena, y'all two grandbabies can play against my one. Yeah. Anyway, all right, folks, we got to get out of here. It's good seeing everybody. Thank y'all all for being here tonight. Thank you, Matt, Tom, Fee. Fee, I wish you'd have stayed on here a little bit longer. I wanted to talk about Tyler a little bit, but it's good seeing everybody back. We appreciate y'all for being here. We'll see y'all next week. Good night, Miss Francis.
Straight from the hip.
Irv in the building. Irv, I'm